We have a great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real, relevant, and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Yes, everybody, it is the Kim Jacobs Show, and we are super thrilled to be here with you today as we bring balance to the world, one household at a time. As you can see, we have a phenomenal lineup of women here. All of y'all are like, y'all ain't playing. Y'all came correct. Y'all came to handle your business today, right?
Yeah. Amen.
I am so glad that you all are here, and listen, very glad to have you all in the virtual studio audience as well. The only way I can really acknowledge you in the audience is if you type a comment and let me know that you're out there. I try to look at all of the different platforms, but it would be great if you just type a comment or ask any questions throughout today's discussion. We're talking about how to build a bridge and get over it. Literally, I don't know if that's how you meant it, Doretha. That's the way I took it when I read it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you are in for a treat because many times there are bridges and obstacles in our way, and we don't really know what to do to get to the other side of that mountain in our lives. And so what I want everyone to do, I'm going to give a formal introduction of each of you, but if you would just open your mic, say your name, and say something about you, maybe something people would have never even known. Just let's go. I'm going to let you speak last, Doretha, because I'm going to introduce you. So let's go with you, Kidada. Tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Kidada. You said, what else did you need to know? I'm sorry.
Kidada, like, don't be starting with me, girl.
Right. I'm Kidada and I'm cute. You see?
I know I'm not first.
A little bit about myself.
You know, I'm going to introduce you, but I just wanted to give you a chance to open your mic and say anything that you wanted to just say say hello to everyone.
Hi, I'm Kidada Jones, and I'm just glad to be here. Thank you for having me on the show, Kim.
I'm so glad you're here, too. Clearly, we're going to have a good time, y'all, okay, as we get into this discussion, because this is a fun group of women, too. Not all starchy. They're going to be letting their hair down a little bit here. All right, the speaker of life over there, Muriel, tell us hello and say maybe where you're from. Let me give y'all something specific to say.
Well, hey guys, I am Speaker of Life Muriel Godfrey, and I am from the south side of Chicago. I currently reside in the suburbs, but you know, I always rep where I'm from. I never forget where I came from. Something about me that people may not know. Although I'm known as a social butterfly, I identify as shy.
Do you? Okay. Now, Kidada, I'm definitely the person that goes back and corrects my wrong, right? So you're like, now I hope she come back to me so that I can get a chance to say where I'm from. So, Kidada, where are you from?
I'm originally from Chicago, but I am streaming live from Michigan, Lansing, Michigan. I was born and raised in Chicago, but I've been here more than half my life. So I'm kind of a Michigander, but I don't want to claim it.
You don't want to claim it, right? Fully.
Right. But I'm here live in Lansing, Michigan.
All right. Sonia, how about you over there with your beautiful glasses on? Tell us who you are.
Oh, thank you. Well, my name is Sonia Ouedraogo, and I'm often asked about that last name specifically, and it hails from Burkina Faso in West Africa. And although I didn't put that part in the book, that could be an extended story. I could talk about that, later. Well, maybe not in this interview, but I'm writing another book as an extension of this. And so I'll go in details, but I just mention it because people ask me all the time about it. But I'm very happy to be here. I am originally from Chicago and still live here out in the South Burbs. And it's been wonderful to get to know you all. Hold on one second. I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah, take your time. This is about how we balance our lives. So I'll move you from the screen and let you go handle what you need to handle. All right. See that's how you do real time stuff right there. All right, Dr. Tamika, how you doing?
I am well. Thank you for having me today. So I grew up on the south side of Chicago as well, Roseland area. I'm currently in the south suburbs. Just fun fact about me, I enjoy working out. I have custody of my two siblings and also my two children. So last year I had 4 children in high school. So
wait, what did you say you have? What siblings? I missed the word.
Custody of my brother and sister, as well as I have two children of my own. So last year I had 4 children that were in high school all at the same time. So it's amazing. My whole head is not gray.
Yeah, I'm like, what? You still have hair? And you 4 in high school? Y'all know.
4 in high school.
That alone that should be a Guinness Book of World Records type of stuff.
Yes. 2 girls and 2 boys.
Oh,
the trouble on both sides.
That sounds like another book.
Yes.
It does, Doretha.
That's a different story.
And it sounds like a lot of things I definitely want you to come back on the show. All of you all are welcome to come back individually and tell your own real backstory and life story for your full hour interview with me. That is definitely a topic too for balancing our lives. How do you balance managing your siblings that you're now the parent of?
Yes.
All right, technically speaking, or acting parent. It's a whole thing. So we definitely need to talk more. All right. Patience, talk to us over there with the brick wall behind you.
Hi. So my name is Patience, and I'm 28, and I've been writing my whole life, and so this was kind of like my first step towards writing with purpose in a way. Like I've always written, but it was mainly for myself, and so now I'm learning to take that testimony and like give it to other people. And so this is a cool experience, and just excited to be here with the ladies.
Well, y'all are saying y'all already dropping some serious nuggets, even in what you're saying. You talking about some writing with purpose. You I ironically have a brick wall behind you because sometimes we actually run up against brick walls. Mm-hmm. But even though that may not be your branding or whatever, I'm just making it into.
I mean, that's good. I'll take it. Yeah, that's why I did it. That's exactly why I did it.
Yeah. So there you have it. It's a lot that people can learn from someone your age that's still kicking it in the head and just overcoming obstacles and still determined to make a difference on this earth. So I cannot wait to talk to you more and definitely want to welcome you all of you all back individually. Okay. Doretha, let me pull something up here because I want y'all to know who Doretha Reese Wheatley is.
It's full of surprises.
And Doretha, I'm gonna give you a chance to talk, but I want to go ahead and introduce everybody to you. You are multifaceted. Chicago. Let me pull you over here to the side. This woman right here, y'all. This is Reese. And she is a business owner, fashion designer who leverages her spirituality, transparency, and creativity to inspire and uplift others. Since being compelled to write a poem, oh man, I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna let her talk about that. But she was recognized for her God-given gift for writing at an early age. And later she has some specific works that pertain to something that a lot of couples face. So we're going to learn more about how she's touched countless lives around the globe. So I am so excited to have this Amazon bestselling author status in 5 categories through her collaboration with 20 other authors in multiple anthologies that she's written. She has the Entrepreneurial Hub, and she has a motto that all of us want to learn to live by. Welcome, Doretha Wheatley. How are you?
Hey.
So tell us about you, a fun fact, because we didn't get to hear that, and where you're from. And then I have some questions for you.
Look, we all from South Side of Chicago originally, right? I grew up in the Inglewood community, and I've lived South Side, West Side, East Side of Chicago, but my roots are in the South Side, and I currently am in the South suburbs. So I don't know. I think you just want that connect to that South. But of course, yes, I am. This is my 3rd book, 2 anthologies, and then my first book that Kim mentioned, The 12 Steps to Recovery from Infidelity. That was my first write that I actually wrote from a place of pain and healing. Like I literally wrote the first chapter while I was crying. And so from there, I mean, I already knew that that's what I was called, but being a dressmaker and that being a way that I make my money, I was always torn between my gift and my call. And so I decided to trust. I did have trust issues. I had decided to trust God with this process. And I took a leap of faith, and these wonderful women decided to trust me and join me. And now we're here on the Kim Jacobs Show talking about how to build a bridge and get over it.
That is so everything. When you talk about the 12 steps to infidelity, I know that's not this particular book, and you were in the midst of that particular pain. What advice would you give women that are living in that current state and really don't know how to build that bridge and even get over it?
The first step to recovery is admitting that there's a problem. Okay. Chapter 1 was the problem wasn't him, it was me. Why did I stay? Why was I in a relationship with someone that was committing infidelity? He was just being who he was. I was the person that needed to change because I knew better, and I knew that's what I didn't want. So I had to make changes, and it began with me not thinking that I can control the person or the situation per se, but control how I handle it. And so I would say, stop trying to control people and work on you. And so that's what I had to do.
That you are, girl. Okay. Did anybody else just feel like that was a drop the mic moment?
Right?
Yes.
I promise. I've heard so much about divorce. I've watched videos because I've gone through a divorce after 28 years of marriage, being together for 34. That was traumatizing to me, to say the least. Okay. So when I did all of this research, been through counseling and things, Doretha, let me put myself here, because I want you to have this comment. Oh, okay, let me put myself. I don't normally put myself over here. I always put my guest. But what Doretha Reese Wheatley just said is something that I have not heard any other people say ever. I mean, I've heard a lot of stuff, and I read the Word of God, and I ain't saying what you're saying is better than the Word of God. I ain't saying. I'm just saying.
Be careful with that.
You definitely have some great counseling tips inside of you. If that's tip number 1, I can only imagine what the other 11 tips are. And I pray to God that you'll come back and share some of those tips here on the show for a full hour. You just said, focusing on you, on me, and not worrying about trying to change the other person it's a game changer for people going through divorce. So thank you for that. All right. That's not what this show is about today, y'all. Doretha, I would like to know what gave you the vision and the passion to create this particular project, how to build a bridge and get over it, with you and these wonderful collaborating authors here today.
First, I do want to make mention to Dr. King, who was not able to join us today. She's also a great part of this vision. She's dealing with health issues, so much prayer, for her.
Before you go any further, I know we keep interrupting each other, but since this is a show about how we balance our lives, and I'm a new pastor, ain't no way I'm not going to move forward without praying for Dr. King. So Heavenly Father, Lord, right now I just ask that you just give grace and mercy to Dr. King and the situation that she's dealing with, Lord. The world doesn't need to know the details, but Lord, you know the details. You're the author, you're the finisher of our faith, Lord, and you can say we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So we're claiming healing over her right now by your stripes, and we're trusting and believing, God, that it's already done. I pray in Jesus' name, and whoever's name you all pray in, you can as well. In Jesus' name, amen. All right.
Amen.
Go on, Doretha.
Okay, so how to build a bridge and get over it. Shout out to my girlfriend, Lachelle Silas Armour. We were having a discussion one day, and I'm always having some type of discussion with someone, right? And we were talking about when people say, "Oh, you just need to get over it." We were like, well, if we knew how, we probably would. Like people say it like it's just instant. And so she and I began to make a list of all the things that just we needed to get over. And it was like being fatherless and just down the list. And it was just ongoing, which it's just an endless list because everyone has something that they desire to get over, right? But they just don't have the how. So I didn't seek out these women. God placed these women in my life strategically. And of course, Patience is my daughter. Sonia and I sold life insurance together. Kidada and I went to high school together. Muriel, I met her because she came to the hub and she was going through writer's block to learn her writing style and things like that. And Tamika and I were part of a women's conference. She was a speaker and so was I. And we were like, And then it just kind of just opened up and here we are with us sharing that how. Not to say that we're completely like maybe where there are no triggers or things of that nature. It doesn't mean that when we say that we're over it, like I was sharing with the ladies, over it just means that we recognize who we are in God. We recognize that we are above and not beneath, right? That we are the lender and not the borrower, and we are the head and not the tail. That we have power over our traumas and our past experiences, that they don't own us. And so that is what we're sharing. We're sharing the how. You know, we combat those traumas by casting down, you know, when those things come, because they'll come, you know, the thoughts will come. Reminders will come. We may be in a certain place and things rise up, but we know that we have power to cast that thing down. And so that's what How to Build a Bridge and Get Over It is about. It's about those things that we had to get over that are now beneath us. Because we're crossing over to the other side. Yeah.
I am so excited. Now, in the book, you have a chapter. Do you want to say what your chapter is called and what you want readers to walk away knowing? And Kidada, I know I'm calling you out. You're like, girl, don't be calling my name out. That's going to be one of your questions. That's going to be one of the questions for y'all over there. So get your mind right about that too. Come on, Doretha. What's your chapter title?
My chapter is about spiritual adultery. So it's How to Build a Bridge and Get Over Spiritual Adultery. My subtitle is When Love Calls.
When Love Calls.
When Love Calls. The thing that I guess resonated with me most as I was writing was that epiphany of, what do you do? And it was, you either pray and stay or believe and leave. That's it. When it comes to spiritual adultery, when you start to obsess and put all your energy into people and things as opposed to God, we're committing spiritual adultery. You know, in my book, I talk about how I was a wife first to God. He said, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. He who finds a wife, not a girlfriend, you know, right. Not it's complicated, a significant other. He who finds a wife. Well, you were a wife when he found you. You were already married and committed to the things of God. At what point did you forget that God was your first husband? And so I had to realize that I was changing. I was doing things that was unseemly to God, right? God said, no, daughter, I did not call you to do those things. I did not command you to behave that way. And so whether I was screaming, yelling, cussing, fussing, changing the way I dress, hanging out certain places, whatever, and I'm trying to gain acceptance from people, or pursuing my business more than I was pursuing working on my gift more than my call. How about that? Then there was a problem. And I shut it all down. Literally, the doors to the hub, the physical doors are closed. And all it did is prompted me to go into another direction because he kept tapping me and whispering to me. And he was like, girl, you ain't listening? Okay, I'm gonna shut you down. And I got ill. And he shut me down. And even while I was ill, I still tried to find a way.
Trying to make it
happen. And he was like, girl, let me shut these doors.
Wow.
And so grateful to God, you know, for his chastisement and also the wisdom in knowing that because he loves me, that his plans for me are good. And I don't have anything to worry about. So yeah.
Okay, y'all gonna have to hear a lot more from Doretha, but we're gonna keep it moving for a minute here so that you can hear from one of her. You know how people say this is my seed, right? You know, everybody say that, right? This is my seed. This is her seed, Patience Wheatley. And Patience is a 28-year-old author, musician, creative director, designer based in Chicago, passionate about empowering others. As you can already see, she is recently published her debut work, and I'm going to let her talk about her role in that and what inspired her to come up with her chapter title. So I'm not going to read any more of this because your multifaceted career combines your love for creativity, healing, social impact, and you aspire to become a world-renowned figure in music, design, and community advocacy. Before you even start speaking, let me say this right here because this is important to know. Anytime, if you're watching this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show and you have a young 28-year-old that's already this accomplished, that has goals and dreams to change the world, literally, please make sure that you reach out to Patience Wheatley and connect with her and let her know some of the projects that she can collaborate with you on to help catapult her to the next level of her dreams and her goals becoming a reality. She could be doing anything, y'all. She's here trying to better the world. Let's support her. All right, go ahead. I should have put my own stuff on there as a commercial. That was a commercial.
Yeah, that was so good. I'm like, yes, please, y'all, please.
So, Patience, tell us your reason why you wanted to be a part of this with your mom as the visionary.
Honestly, I just anything my mom does, if she asks me to help her, I'm like, yeah, for sure. Like, I'll do it. Like, because I just know she has great vision. Like, she has great ideas, and so it's like, why wouldn't I want to be a part of it? And then, like, I've always loved writing, and so we share that as well. And so it was just cool. And too, like, I just find that writing can be very healing. And I sometimes, and I was thinking about this morning, because usually, like, I believe truly that, like, anytime you're blessed is to be a blessing to someone else. But a lot of times I look at that and I think about, like, monetary blessings or tangible blessings, and that's what you pass down. And I forget the blessing of, like, life, the blessing of your testimony. And so now I'm like being able to write about the things that I've overcome. It's like, okay, so this is the blessing that I'm also supposed to pass down. Like, the fact that I've kind of tried to overcome certain things, and I'm still, like, in the heat of it because, like, it's just life, you know, and the devil knows what you've been through and your triggers. And so he's going to bring those things back around. And so this is kind of like the first step to making it a little bit harder for the devil, I guess. Like, I don't know. But, yeah, just wanting to live a more purposeful life, or to, like, heal myself too, kind of led me to writing it. And so my chapter is about how to get over sexual assault and rape. And so, like, that's definitely a thing that's, you know, a little bit, like, hard to talk about, or it's something that's only talked about, like, slightly. Nobody wants to get into detail. Nobody wants to really, like, say how traumatizing it truly is. It kind of is left at the surface. And so I felt like this was an opportunity to kind of show true vulnerability around it. Like, and so in my chapter, I just described the first time that it happened to me, like, in detail, as good as well as I could do it, just so that people can see that, like, it's not always going to be in an alley. It's not always going to be, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's I don't know. I feel like I'm losing my train of thought.
No, please, let God just use you.
Yeah. So.
Because what you're saying here is helping somebody. People hold this in and they do not share their stories, and definitely not on public platforms. Most people don't. So it's changing the world.
Well, thanks. But just that kind of, like, led me to want to do it. And, like, again, I have a good, like, mom. I have a foundation. And so, like, in seeing, like, the privileges that I do have, I would recognize, like, that the struggles are the things that are probably going to help other people. Like, not me talking about, like, yeah, my mom's always around, my dad's around, Like, I have a lot of privileges. And so through those privileges, I have to, like, look at the things that I don't have. And those could be, like, the highlights. And it takes, like, an amount of, like, humility to do those things. And I think I need to practice more humility, because around the time when I wrote my chapter 2, I kept getting in my head, like, humble yourself before the Lord, humble yourself before the Lord. And so I felt like I had to listen, because I felt like I was kind of putting myself not on a pedestal, but, like, through, oh my gosh, this brick is going to be a theme, I guess. But through, like, my life, I've always had, like, a guard up, because I wanted people to view me in a certain light. Instead of in the light of God, because I didn't recognize me coming through my traumas was the blessing that I was meant to share, you know, like, and I just arrived at that today. So, like, yeah. So yeah, that's my chapter, and I'm excited.
Wow. You're so okay, because I'm a little bit overwhelmed myself, and just hearing you, I can hear such sincerity and such passion in your voice to try to help other people, really not sugarcoat it, is what I think I'm hearing, but just be raw and candid about, look, this thing happened to me and this is how it impacted me. And whether you like it or you don't like it, this is my real story, my real life. And just to build a bridge and get over it is not that easy to do. But what advice, and I don't want you to necessarily share it from your chapter perspective, but what advice would you give women or men that are struggling to rebuild their lives after similar types of trauma?
So I'll just do like a small part from the chapter, because I kind of put it into bullet points, like the last 4 things, because like these are the steps that I'm currently taking and having to like repractice often when dating people. So it's just 4 steps, well 5. So the first one is like, you have to give your no your power. So like in that moment, you probably said no a couple times. It was not respected. You need to say no a whole bunch more so that you can understand that your no has power and give it back that power. So do that. And then like, accept that it wasn't your fault. I went to therapy one time, and when my therapist told me that, I literally couldn't like I just started crying, because a lot of times it's like, you could have did this. You could have did this to not let it happen. You could have done this to not let it happen. But it's like, ultimately that person harmed you because they wanted to be harmful to you. You couldn't really do nothing. It wasn't your fault. And then after that, I had to look at like patterns, because yes, that person tried to harm you, but yes, you did put yourself in a harmful situation. And it's bad to say it that way, because it's not your fault, but we do live in a society where people are selfish. And so you have to recognize when a person is showing those traits. And so pattern recognition was like the step 3. And then distance from the people that show the patterns of the people who have abused you. Distance yourself from those people. Try to find better people to be around. And then celibacy, honestly, has helped. Like I go through stints of like every year I do it, probably at least 6 or 7 months of celibacy, just because I don't know. I just feel like it just helps, like just to remember your value outside of, sex. And so, yeah, those are the takeaways from my chapter.
You okay. Anybody, before let me let your mama speak for you. You know how you be like, just let somebody speak. I'm gonna let your mama, who is collaborating author with you and the visionary author behind this book. For everybody that's just tuning in, we're talking to the authors of How to Build a Bridge and Get Over It. And Doretha Reese Wheatley is the visionary behind it. That was her daughter, Patience Wheatley, that just spoke about her chapter of overcoming sexual abuse and rape. And so that's going to be a very helpful chapter to a lot of people here. Actually, I was looking at some of the statistics. 1 in 5 women, according to the National Sexual Violence Resource Center, 1 in 5 women in the United States experience completed or attempted rape during their lifetime. That's a lot of people. And nearly 24.8% of men in the United States have some form of contact sexual violence in their lifetime. Nationwide, 81% of women and 43% of men reported experiencing some form of sexual harassment or assault in their lifetime. I'll put the statistics in the comment section for you all, but I wanted to give you a chance to just speak as well, Doretha. What does it do for you hearing your daughter be a part of this project? And you're muted too, so unmute yourself first.
I'm grateful that she's allowing God to use her experience and her transparency to help others heal as she is currently healing. Patience is full of wisdom. She's always been wise, and she's always been dropping gems. Like we'd be driving and she just randomly say something. I'd be like, and thinking flesh and blood ain't revealed that to you, child. So I'm just grateful to have such amazing children. I'm blessed, and I am here for the journey with her. Because when I found out, I just it's painful. It's her journey, and so I am here to support her journey. So
and And as a mom, and I'm sure her dad and other family members, when you find out something like this from your child, what advice would you give, Doretha, to parents that are so easy to be like, oh, well, where were you? What'd you do? I mean, you know, you have parents that go in on the child and turn the whole situation around. What advice would you give to these parents that are, because this shows about how you balance your life and what you've had to overcome to become who you are today. What advice would you give those parents?
Well, first, I'm thinking about the bullet points that Patience just gave, because I too, survivor, not victim, no victim of, rape, molestation, and things were handled different than how I would have. But you can't really, as parents, we don't really have like this book that says this is how you're supposed to deal with this when it arises. I always tell my kids, what do you know? We don't draw feelings, right? We don't draw feelings. What do you know? And if you know your parents love you, you know that even the message is coming from a place of love, even though the delivery may be off. But parents, we have to be reminded that that was not our experience. It was their experience. And we need to first be silent. And we need to ask, are you okay? Are you okay? How can I support you in this? Don't make it about you, the parent. You got to make it about the individual that was harmed. And then you become a vessel for them, so that you could support them and help them get the healing and the help that they need, whichever direction they choose to go in. You just have to be supportive.
That's so good. That is such great advice. So parents, making sure that you're not just putting the blame on the child, but making sure that you find out how can you support them and help them. And even if you've been in a situation like Doretha says, she went through something similar, but it was handled very differently. Even if things were handled differently according to what you've experienced, taking the reins and turning those generational issues of how it was previously handled and course correcting it is huge. So I commend you, Doretha, and I thank you, Patience. Anybody that's experienced sexual assault, the hotline in the United States, again, I know this show airs in 100 countries. So in your own country, identify what the sexual assault hotline is. But here in the United States is 1-800-656-4673. Again, that's 1-800-656-4673. Even if you have to call anonymously and learn what some of the steps and resources are that are available to you, don't miss that opportunity to do so. Tamika, where are you over there? Tamika, let me see. Tamika, I am going to put you front and center. Oh, this is kind of like a heavy show a little bit, because this is a lot. And wow, y'all are all experts in your own right. Okay. Wow,
yes. So,
wow, Tamika, let me tell them who you are first. Dr. Tamika Smith is a seasoned healthcare professional, accomplished educator, author, and a motivational speaker. As you can see, she's already ready to go with a passion for teaching and inspiring growth. She recently contributed to this particular anthology, and I'm going to let her talk about what her specific role is in this anthology, but she's also the founder of Phoenix Rising, PPD LLC, and a personal and professional development consulting company that's dedicated to helping people rebuild, restore, and recreate their lives. I'm so glad you're here today. And so talk to us about your chapter, Dr. Tamika.
Thank you. My chapter is how to build a bridge to get over unforgiveness, releasing the pain so that you can love again. Many of us struggle with unforgiveness in our lives, not just unforgiveness of others, but sometimes unforgiveness of ourselves. And when we're dealing with unforgiveness, many times, I know all of us have probably heard, oh, you have to forgive, and it's not forgiveness of the other person for the other person. You're forgiven because it's for you. But when you're going through something traumatizing, where it's a deep betrayal, a deep cut, you almost feel like, in a sense, that to forgive, you're almost forgiving, or you're almost accepting and saying that the betrayal that was done to you is okay. And although you know it isn't okay, but that's how you feel. on the inside. You feel like you're just kind of sweeping under the rug. You're not addressing it. So the battle becomes within yourself, within your own mind, where you're trying to battle against yourself of, I know I should forgive, but man, the hurt is still there. And so in this chapter, I talk about unforgiveness, how it can affect you as a person, your journey. And also we talk about even when you're going through the journey of trying to find yourself, trying to love again, how you can sometimes hit hurdles where you can be triggered and you put in a lot of work and you feel like, yes, I forgive the situation, I forgive the person. You'll hear a song, you'll see a person, someone will say something, and just like that, all of the hard work is gone and you feel like, I really don't like this person again. Maybe I have not forgiven them. Maybe, you know, something happens in life and you feel like, man, the battle starts all over again. So we talk about that cycle, and we talk about what are some steps that you can put in place to recognize that true healing is occurring and that you are making those steps and progressing towards a path that is going to release you and allow you to truly love again.
Wow. Okay. I can't wait for any of you all to get this book, because it is going to be a game changer for you. Your work with Phoenix Rising is transformative. And I'm sure you have like various principles that you employ, but I would like to know, what is one principle that you share with your clients that are trying to just rebuild and restore their lives after dealing with unforgiveness?
So like the name of the company says, Phoenix Rising, when we go through things, there's always that opportunity to rebuild, come from those ashes, restore. It's about transforming yourself into the best version and being the best possible you that you can be. So we help you to connect with yourself, connect with your passions, and just remember who you are and who God has cast you out to be in this world. So just remembering the power and the strength that is already embedded within you. We're just rebuilding, recreating, and we're helping you to unmask and really walk into the path that is purpose for you.
Y'all have like the best answers ever, and we did not rehearse any of this. It's not scripted. We're just having a conversation, everybody. And so I'm just really grateful. Right now I see that there are and several of you all here, but I just want to put this up because right now we've heard from Patience, and hers is a relentless no to love in chapter 4, and you just heard from her. And then we also had Dr. Tamika, and Dr. Tamika releasing the pain so you can love again, and she's talking all about forgiveness. And so you can get these right now. I want people to know, even mid-show, Doretha, how people can get a copy of the book, because I keep popping this up, but I want to make sure this is how you want people to go to get a copy, correct? And unmute yourself first.
Okay. It was unique how I was led to do this, because this mission isn't about me. And so creating a website where we have images of each one of the authors, you go, let's say it resonates, one person resonates more with you, and you go to womangem.com, you go to that person's image. When you click it, it will redirect you to their personal pages, their social media pages, and you will connect with them directly and order books or book them for speaking engagement, things like that. It's all individual thing. I know that every story will not resonate with everyone, but in the event something Kidada said, touch you, you're going to go to womangem.com. You're going to find Kidada's picture. It's going to redirect you. You're going to find Sonia's picture, redirection. Tamika, it's the same for everyone. So I did that intentionally so that the women would be able to get royalties and bookings, things outside of Doretha. And also, I didn't want to have to micromanage.
Right. That's like the whole confession. I was like, "Ooh, y'all,
yeah.
Thanks, right?
Go ahead now.
Now, let me make sure I do Dr. King, Dr.
Yes.
Denise King. I do want you, Doretha, to say something about her chapter as well, because yes. I know she's not able to be here today. And then we're going to keep right on going.
Okay. So Dr. King, chapter 1, A Journey to Self-Love. Her chapter is about surviving the traumatizing effects of domestic violence. So she is a domestic violence survivor, and she has a backstory of when it all began as a teenager, and how she overcame it. You know, the things that she learned from it and things of that nature. So, of course, buy the book. You can read it for yourself more in depth, but she's amazing. And the story with how Dr. King came upon it was divine. It was all just divine. So I'm really grateful for her coming through. And yeah.
And while you're talking, tell me this image, what this reflects and means.
We got together to do a shoot as a group, and that 10-pound diamond is my hope diamond. And Woman Gym is something that I started, I think like early 2000s. And it's a sisterhood, and it started with a little, like a diamond, like a little like a pendant, and it looked like a teardrop, because when I would see women, I was making necklaces, and I would give them the teardrop because they were at a stage in their life where they were crying, and I just wanted to give them something that said, it's okay, your tears are being collected to form something beautiful. And from there, I ended up buying what they call the Shannon Crystal. Shannon Crystal was a paperweight, like it actually was a napkin holder that I was buying for Bed Bath & Beyond for $20. And it was like, it came in a big velvet box, and you open it up and it was like a giant engagement ring. And I was like, oh my God. And so I started buying them and just keep them on hand. And when I would see women and whoever I was led to give them to, and those were the women who needed to learn how to love themselves, that were maybe struggling with self-worth and things like that, I said, you know what, I got something for you. And then I would go and get a Shannon Crystal, and then I would give it to them. And then from there, the Hope Diamond. The Hope Diamond is a 10-pound diamond because, of course, I'm multifaceted, right? Like we're gems, we're brilliant, we're beautiful, right? But the formation process is not always, as beautiful. And the 10-pound Hope Diamond is what the women get when they're at this stage. And I have to find these Hope Diamonds. I've been looking. That one cost me $100 some decades ago or whatever. But it's when you can give hope to another sister.
Oh my God.
So I'm holding the Hope Diamond, because what I intend to do with this anthology, and we're going to do one every year with another group of women, is to give hope to another sister. So,
wow. Oh, okay, y'all. We're going to keep right on going. Once you realize that if you're a part of an anthology with Doretha, I'm putting you back in, Patience as well. But if you are a part of an anthology with Doretha, this is the kind of love you're going to get. You're going to get that hope, that adoration, that inspiration, letting you know that you're a diamond and that you can build a bridge and get over it through the lives and testimonies of those that are sharing them today. All right, let's see who can we go to next here. We have Kidada. Let's go to you, Kidada. Where are you at over there? All right, Kidada. Let's go. How are you? I love your smile.
How are you? Thank you.
God. Okay, let me just introduce you. You are, well, first of all, I got my glasses upside down. For any of you all that don't know, I have on different glasses because my red glasses broke. And so I was like stressed out over the holidays. My glasses broke, and now I have to use these. They turned upside. Anyway, forget it. I'm just having my own moment over here.
I ain't noticed that.
Kidada Jones is a proud mother of 3 and a devoted grandmother. Your grandma. She serves as the accounting director for the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, bringing dedication, expertise, and excellence to her work. Her life reflects a beautiful balance of family, service, and creativity, evident in her passion for helping her friends, loved ones, and others that are in need. Now, she has a chapter in this book that she's going to be talking about, and I'll let her say that directly. But welcome, Kidada, and talk to us about your chapter.
My chapter is How to Build a Bridge and Get Over Fear. And my tagline is, I was afraid to love her. I feel so like I'm touched right now. Even every time we would get together about this book, like I'm the crybaby of the group. So I would literally be in tears just listening to the taglines to everyone's story, and then just kind of how everything is coming together. It was like, wow, like how all the different chapters and stories just come together in this book. I applaud Reese and let it, and especially God, because I felt like this was God touched, God given. And so for us to share our testimonies and like you said, just, encourage other women and let other women know that, you can get through it. You can get over it. I get overwhelmed a lot. But my story, I mostly want women to know, with my story, like a lot of people said before me, you have this fear of, you're going through your day to day, you're a wife, you're a mother, you're trying to just take care of everyone else, and you may forget yourself. A lot of us, I think, that's kind of what happens. We forget ourselves in trying to be that nurturer and be that wife and everything else. And so it's, encouraging others to let them know, you can take that step and set your boundaries and, make sure you love yourself and take care of yourself enough to know that you're worthy. So that's the main thing that I wanted to convey in my story. I actually give honors and, give it up to my family and friends. There were people in my life. I wrote this story. I told Reese it was more therapeutic for me. I was actually in the midst of a divorce at the time I was writing this. I had been with my husband 31 years. From the age of 16, I was with him. And so I was writing this in the midst of, and so it was very therapeutic for me. And I'm like, Reese, I don't want to be, and all this stuff you're trying to push me in. And I just wanted to, I'm grateful and glad to be a part of it. And she's like, no, you're going to be okay. How you going, do this? You'll be okay. We got your back, sis. And so here I am today. And that's why I said, like, still just the fear of, no, I didn't want to be out there. I just want to, I'm grateful to be a part of it. But I'm glad that she encouraged me. I'm honored to be a part of this project. It's been a long time coming. So, and I give honors, like I said, I had a friend of mine, she was like, you have a testimony. You really need to get out there and share it with others. You have a testimony. My friend Trina Lewis. And she was like,
shout out to you, Trina.
Shout out to Trina. And so she encouraged me to go ahead and tell my story. So that's where I am today.
I'm so proud of you. And now when you think about the fact that you admitted, I have had some fears of my own, what is like a step that you took to overcome your own fear? At least give us one step that you personally implemented to overcome your own fear. And what would you advise other people to do to take that first step, whatever that first step may be?
It's just taking that step out on faith. You know who has you, the one that made you and created you. So you know that he got you. When you take that step out, that's just like I mentioned in my chapter. What if you do succeed? What if everyone is afraid? Like I'm afraid of public speaking. You probably wouldn't know that. But that, I had being an accounting director, I had to be in conferences and be in front of people. And, so it's kind of how God will push you out, out of your comfort zone and be like, I know, I need you to be bold and courageous and get out there and see what happens. You let your light shine. You know what I'm saying? So many times, again, with my book, you dim your light, for other people to be able to shine. And that's not what should happen. You should also let your light shine. So
you better believe
what I would
say. You know what?
Can I just share real quick that?
Please.
When Kidada was writing her chapters about getting over fear, but I told her that everything I see is about courage. And so it's about being courageous and taking that leap of faith. And I'm so glad that you chose to take that leap with us.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you did as well, because so many people are going to be blessed when you get a chance to learn how to get over fear just by reading in Kidada's chapter. And the way that you can get the book, I want to make sure you constantly know, if you have not already gotten the book, go get it today, womangym.com. Each of these collaborating authors will have a page that you can click on and support their particular purchases. And so go to womangym.com and get your copy today. Wow, I'm really excited about. Let me move this for a minute here, but I do want to put your image up as well. And you are chapter 2. I was afraid to love her. Oh my gosh! Once you learn how to love yourself, there is no limitations to what you can become. So I'm so grateful for your chapter. Okay, doctor. Let's see over here. The speaker of life, Muriel Godfrey. How you doing over there?
Hi, I'm wonderful. I knew you was coming to me next.
Y'all have the best smiles, and you can just feel your spirit. You know, let me before I even go back to you, when you were talking about letting your light shine. As a new pastor recently, I did a message and I was talking about letting your light shine, and I gave everybody in the service a light, a tea light. And I said, listen, we should be like cities that sit on a hill. And people often wonder, and they're like, what in the world is happening up there? To the point where we're able to encourage people to learn more about Christ and to accept Christ because they're seeing the light shine through us. So I just want, I don't pull this out on every episode, but this is an episode that I would say, thank you for letting your light shine. If I could tag each of you, thank you for being a city on a hill and letting God use you today. All right. All right, let's see. Let's go to Muriel Godfrey. And sometimes when I have this many guests on, we do go a few minutes beyond 12. So don't touch that dial. Or don't touch it, y'all. We got another one coming up right after her too. Now, this is Dr. Muriel Godfrey. She's an author, speaker, leader, and dedicated to inspiring others through her personal testimony and her faith-filled journey. She's a wife, a mother, and an advocate for healing and self-acceptance. She's passionate about sharing her stories of resilience, transformation, and divine purpose. I'm not going to go through what she's going to talk about because she's going to talk about that in a minute. But through her books, her ministry, and her voice, she encourages individuals to embrace their healing, walk in purpose, and prepare for the overflow of God's promises. Okay, talk to us, Dr. Muriel, with the beautiful smile and spirit. Doctor.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I call this like my Revelations 12 and 11 project. You know what I mean? Because it's like I have overcame, and this is my testimony, you know. And so many times, you know, during the journey, there was the opposition, if you will, that tries to talk you out of it, to try to get you not to go forward so you don't get to the testimony. And I'm just so grateful to be amongst amazing women who are a part of God's kingdom to encourage and push and just be there for each other, right? So I don't forsake the assembling of God's people. So I'm excited to be here. And my chapter was how to build a bridge and get over childhood trauma and healing the little girl to become the better woman. And so in my journey, I my husband and I have a ministry. We have a ministry called Forever Soaring and Elevating. And God gifted this ministry to me. And during that time, I'm just like, you know, I try to, and I apologize to God for this, because I kind of did it like when I came on here and you talked about not dimming your light, right? And so I said, like, I'm shy, you know, but people call me a social butterfly, right? That's because I'm comfortable being in the back. I'm comfortable celebrating others, right? But God says, come to the front, let your light shine, because I gave you the light and I gave it to you to shine. So when we're not in our proper position, it can not only be brutal for us, but those who are supposed to be connected to us. So in that journey, I had to learn how to be this woman that God was saying that I am. And so during that journey, I'm like, well, what is it, God? Because I don't see what you see. Help me to see me the way that you see me.
Right.
And in that journey, I had to realize there was a little girl that needed to be healed. What we go through, you know, we're not battling flesh and blood. You know what I mean?
That's
These
right.
are principles and principalities and darkness in high places, and they try to hold things illegally. I had to go back and free that girl. And in that journey, once I did that, you know, it's like guys like, okay, you're not done. There's others, because no one's going to step to the opposition of the enemy like how I will have you come. So I need you to stand 10 toes down on my word, bring my word, drop my word on it, and move the way I have called you to move. And it's a lot for me, right? But I know it has to be done. This is not about me, but it's going to take me, because God's need to empower women. And most women have dealt with some things that are unimaginable. Like, but it started with me. So how do I free me? So in my chapter, healing the little girl to become the better woman.
Yes.
I have to talk about how I got here, right? We have to understand that the perception of a child is important, right? Because I had the wonderful parents. I have the, wonderful parents. I had the people around me, but the way I was perceiving the things that were happening and taking them in and allowing certain things were, and it was making me not be able to grow as a woman, because these toxic things that I was holding on to were not, they were not worthy of being held on to. This was not love. This was not who I am, but these are some things that I learned growing up that I saw, right? So that conversation to have with the child is important, right? But even in the journey, I learned that people sometimes write off children, right? So I need, there's two parts where God connected me, to the children and to the women. And then also sometimes I could identify with certain other situations, just giving the men a perspective on that. But I had to heal the little girl. How did she get broken? Where, so we talked about those toxic traits in my chapter that I picked up along the way. It wasn't my parents' fault. It was that I did not have, the perception was clouded, right? It was the enemy. God began to reveal to me who I was as a little girl. I need to be able to speak these things, but the enemy was trying to knock that light out. He didn't want that to come into the surface. And so in here, in my chapter, I talk about taking that little girl, loving that little girl, right? Because some things that my grandmother, and it's I have the most amazing grandmother, both of them. And so they did right, but they would say, you want to pray for others, right? Don't be focusing on praying for yourself, pray for others, right? And in that, as a child, my mind just, I don't have time to pray for myself. I got to pray for other people, because that's what Granny said do. No, it's hard when you praying for you, but you don't have to focus there. In my growing up, I was bullied 1st through 8th grade. People talked about me. The children talked about me. I wasn't good enough. I never came home and brought that to my parents, because I felt like my parents had enough to focus on. They were trying to raise these kids, and they were doing things within their marriage. But however, what I was going through was important, but I suffered in silence. And I took that and said, it's okay. And I kept sweeping it under the rug. And then I found myself as a woman with a child, now dealing with a narcissistic individual, right? There it is. I'm taking these attacks, but because I learned to sweep them under the rug as a child, I swept them under the rug. Taking damage after damage after damage of all this stuff that was just not what I should have been taking, and then finally getting to a point, because God will let you go, right? God has called me to the deep calleth the deep, right? So in that, I had to, he took me down, and I was like, no more, right? I dealt with a domino of deaths and some crazy things, and just when it came to August 4th, my mama dying, like, that's enough. Lord, what do you want me to do? Heal the little girl. Your testimony is important. He began to tell me that this project was coming. So when Reese came, I was like, okay, God, this full time, huh? This it. I gotta talk about it. I cried. Healing that little girl. There's layers to healing. So I had to heal a little girl, and I had to literally begin to love her as a grown woman, begin to love her and begin to show her that she's beautiful, pick her up, dust her off, show her how to walk, show her how to be herself, be comfortable in being herself. And as I did that, I also had to go back, heal the children, because they were in that fight with me. What are their perspective? Teach them how to be, because let me tell you, God, don't nothing. How does it go? You can't be live and give birth to nothing that doesn't have life.
That's
So
right.
they carry the same light. I got to show them how to take care of their light, cultivate their light. But I can't do it if I'm bleeding all over people.
My goodness, girl,
So
you shy. You ain't got that name shy, but I don't know where the shy is.
Well. Girl, playing with me.
You preaching over here. You preaching. All right. Well,
I have to get myself together, you know, and so I thank God because from that He's birthed so many things that's taken off. It's taken off, and everybody connected to me wins. And that's all that I wanted as the little girl that caused me to reach out and want to love on people that didn't want to be loved or do those things, because I just wanted us all to win. I want to love on us all because that's all I wanted. But God wanted to let me know it was in me to greater is He that's in me than that's in the world. Love yourself first.
That's
and
right.
Then you could show others how to come out of those dark places, dust themselves off. Then begin to love on yourself, because here it is. What didn't kill you, God has made you a cure for. And along my journey, I got that from a great prophet that spoke. And when I was just down, I was like, dang, why? What is this? And when she said those words, what didn't kill you, God made you a cure for, it empowered my mission. It helped me to be able to shed the tears. This is a part of the process, you know. You know, and go through and get to becoming the better woman, because many of the women that I met throughout my journey, they're not mean, they're not nasty, they're not, you know, women could get along, but a lot of them are hurt. A lot of them have been betrayed. A lot of them, and we overcome by coming together saying, hey, sis, you get out of that. Come on, let me pull you out. Come on, or let me introduce you to somebody else, right?
Yes.
So, Let
me put your chapter back up here again. Tell everybody the name of your chapter one more time, and we're gonna put how you can get it. Say it again.
Healing the little girl to become a better woman.
Yeah, once you can heal that little girl on the inside that may have been traumatized through life's experiences, you can become a better version of who God ultimately still intends to use you to be able to salt this earth. And as I said, letting your light shine. Your light is shining so bright over there, Dr. Muriel. So thank you so much for letting God use you. We cannot get off of this show today without hearing from Sonia. So Sonia, right?
Yes.
Sonia. And I'm going to make sure I say the name, Wade-Drago.
Wade-Drago. And it's okay. It's Sonia Wade-Drago. I respond to who, I know who you're talking to when you call that name. I know what you're saying.
So. Wade-Drago. I'm going to say it right. Because you're not going to be on the Kim Jacobs show and I mispronounce it. Okay, Wade-Drago. All right. So let me introduce you to Sonia Wade-Drago. She is a compassionate, evolving individual dedicated to self-discovery and growth. She's a caregiver, a student, a life insurance agent, again, wearing all kinds of hats. She brings empathy, problem-solving skills, encouragement, and positivity to everyone that she meets. And her greatest accomplishment is, I'm gonna let her tell you what her greatest accomplishment is. And then I'm going to also just let you know that she has so many creative pursuits, including writing books, composing songs, and embracing exciting and meaningful projects like the one that she's a part of here, How to Build a Bridge and Get Over It. Sonia, tell us what your greatest accomplishment is first, and then tell us about your chapter in the book.
My greatest accomplishment is having produced an awesome daughter. My best friend, my counselor, my assistant, my cheerleader, my support, my caregiver. She is everything that I think any mother would want in a daughter. She is smart. She is ambitious. She is kind. She is fun, smart, loving, a wonderful mother. So I thank the Lord so much for her. And I always say to her, because she now is a mother to my 6-year-old granddaughter, I was like, I hope that you experience the wonderful blessings that you have been to me from her. And she already is, but I just want to encourage her. Like, it's hard when they're young, but as they get older, they become your friend. They become, someone that you're proud of. And that's my
right.
greatest accomplishment.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Now tell us about your chapter in the book and what made you write that chapter.
Well, my chapter is how to build a bridge and get over self-abandonment. My tagline is losing her, finding me. Now, how I came up with that one, and I went through several different ones, and truth be told, I tried to get out of this project. I told Reese, I can't do it. I'm still getting over it. I can't write about this, and I can't write about that. But she encouraged me that we're all still getting over things, and that which I've been able to accomplish, that it'd be worth it to share with other people the steps that I have taken and what did work, and even share what didn't. So I started at the beginning, because when I say self-abandonment, I basically got to a point that I couldn't tell you what I wanted, or, what would be an ideal life for me.
Okay.
I basically conditioned myself to just, be happy and content with the people that I love being happy and content. And to a degree, that's still true. But I learned that they are not the happiest and content they can be if I'm not.
That's right.
And so I'm the eldest of my parents' children. I'm, so like second mom, and I am home for a lot of people.
Right.
Not just my daughter. And so me not being okay, made it difficult to, convince them that everything was going to be okay. Because how's going to be okay and you not okay and you home
right. Right.
So, wearing so many hats, a mom, a daughter, employer, a girlfriend, a wife, like all the things. I then became involved in a high controlled religious group. Like, unbeknownst to me, it was, culty. I didn't realize that, but they found me when I was basically in need and in search of God. I was looking for him, so to speak. Yes, I had been raised in church. Yes, I knew about God, but I felt like what I had learned didn't make him personal and close. And I was in a state that I needed that. I wanted him to tell me basically why he created me.
Right.
What was the purpose for that? What do you want me to do? Because what I'm doing ain't getting no real positive results. I'm getting results, but not the ones I want.
Right.
So, on a quest to get closer to God, I, basically became enthralled in a situation that totally just changed my entire life. And getting out of that was even more devastating. So bottom line is, I found that all throughout my life, the standards and expectations and things that I went for or hoped to do really weren't about what I actually wanted to do. It was to please my parents, to please my teachers, to please my man, et cetera, et cetera.
That's good.
So I would say at this point, the most important thing in not losing yourself is to continue to choose yourself. And I know it sounds, it's easier said than done. But when you abandon that which God designed you to be, and you may not feel like you're abandoning yourself, but we do, taking on all those roles. But when you do that, what you're saying is what he gave you is not sufficient for you to function and manifest. And as everyone talked about, letting your light shine. That's what he gave it to you for.
That's right.
So yeah, that's my chapter.
That girl, that's your chapter. What a way to come to close on today's episode. You all, you just brought everything so home. If you do not take care of you, you can't be this wonderful caregiver and this person that's taking care of everyone else. And the question that I did have for you is that how has you being this caregiver that you really are, everybody's leaning on, the weight of the world's on your shoulders, how has that helped shape your overall perspective in life and your purpose? And just in a nutshell, if you could tell us that, please.
Well, it shaped it in that I know that that's one of my gifts. That's something that the Lord gave me. People come to me because I can help relieve suffering, because that's what one of the gifts the Lord gave me. However, that doesn't mean that I, make sure, like, I put my own suffering to the side to help you. Like,
right.
It's a time and place for everything, but to still remember myself, even in the midst of taking care of this person, that person, whatever is happening. Sonia, did you eat today?
Hello.
Did you shower? Because it's so easy to not do those things, because whatever is happening is more important than than me, basically. So I would say take micro steps to take care of you, even in the midst of whatever is happening. Just think about yourself. That one little thing. Oh, just make sure you eat some fruit today, or it matters, and it helps you to keep doing it. And the more you do it, the more you want to do it, because you need to take care of you.
That's so good. That's so okay, y'all. Okay, I know I said 12:15. It's 12:14. This is getting cray because this right here is some great stuff. I personally, back in the private chat, been telling y'all have to come back individually to be a guest for the full hour. Is no way that I cannot have y'all come back individually. This is like epic. Mackenzie, in 30 seconds or less, pop some flash rounds of comments real quick. I can't get off without acknowledging the guests in the studio audience. Jacqueline, thank you so much for becoming a member over a YouTube member. So you just subscribed over there to our YouTube membership. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. All right, Athena, our sunshine expert. We have Freestyle Friday experts here on the Kim Jacobs Show. If y'all have not met the sunshine expert, you are missing something. She said, praise God for your testimony, ladies. Thank you, sunshine expert, for being here today. Who else? I see you, Tammy. I see you, Eric. I see Pastor Eric Johnson. I see you and love you so much. And he's a pastor in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. Oh my goodness. My mom said, Kim, I need that book. We know, Mom. I know I got to get you a copy of the book and get mine, because she marks in hers and uses a journal and take notes. Jab says, love it. Okay, y'all. I need my glass. Y'all, somebody gonna bless me with some red glass. I ain't gonna lie to you. Some that work. Love it. Such a blessing to see great projects come together to help others. All right. Thank you so much. Jacqueline said, this is awesome. Thank you, Jacqueline Battle. Also, everybody that has not taken the opportunity today to donate to the Kim Jacobs Show. The way that the Kim Jacobs Show works is we literally only get the opportunity to come into your household. And I'm going to put it up here on a static image for a minute. We only get to come together in your household, bringing balance to you with wonderful guests like this every weekday at 11 o'clock a.m., only through community contributions. If we don't get community contributions, our production is not paid for otherwise. So all of the subscriptions and the things that are bringing you true value into your home, the missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your household, your family unit, how you handle things, are coming through wonderful experts and guests that appear right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. So if you have not donated, take a moment. I see you, Dr. Marcia Alston, Vicki L. Evans. I see you, Brian and Summer, that just donated as well. Partner with us today and donate via Cash App, $ Kim Jacobs Inc. PayPal, you can go to paypal.me/Kim Jacobs Inc. Venmo is at the Kim Jacobs Show. And then Zelle is 704-962-7161. Or you can become a member of one of our membership programs, as Jacqueline did today. And we do behind the scenes stuff that we don't put on. So I'm backstage asking people questions like, yo, what should I do? I need help too. So join these membership programs that we have. Thank you all for everything that you've done. I do have a quick closing comment from each of you. And Doretha, you're going to be the last closing comment. Patient, let's go. Share your closing comment for today.
I just want to say thanks. Like, I'm glad that everybody made it here today, even through all of the trials and the devil trying to stop us. We all still made it. We got it out of the way. And I know that God will bless our obedience. And so I'm grateful.
Thank you. Thank you. Come on, Sonia, give us a closing comment.
I just want to say to you and to everyone that's listening, it's been such a pleasure to be here, with you. And like Patience said, yeah, it was a lot to even get here, but we're all glad. And we hope that this book bless you as it has blessed us in creating it and sharing it with you.
Absolutely. Dr. Muriel, give us a closing comment.
Thank you. A resounding thank you, first of all. My comment is that no matter where you are in your healing journey, you are worth the healing. Continue to go forth and remember that those who wait on the Lord, He shall renew our strength and we shall mount up like eagles.
Amen.
Woo-hoo! All right. Come on. Is it Dr. Tamika? Give us your closing comment.
Thank you for this opportunity. And I truly hope that this book is a blessing to each and every one of you. And I hope that it uplifts, inspires, and truly helps you to conquer your fears and become the best version of yourselves. Thank you.
Absolutely. And you're going to close the show out, Doretha, but I do want to give everybody one more chance. If you do not have a copy of How to Build a Bridge and Get Over It, for real, like getting to the other side of the bridge, you want to go to womangym.com. I have a lot of podcast listeners on iHeartRadio and Spotify and Amazon Music and different things. It's womangym.com. Womangym.com. You're going to be able to get a book from any of these authors. They'll sign the copy and send it to you, whether it's Dr. King. I don't have it in order, but I see Patience here, and I see Dr. Tamika. I see Kidada, and I didn't put yours up, Doretha, because I put that other image of you up, but I have Dr. Muriel, and then I also have Sonia as well. And then the main visionary behind this entire project is Dr. Doretha Reese.
Doctor? Ooh, okay, I claim that.
I'm trying to, you got
Kidada didn't give her closing remark. You ain't getting out of that. Kidada didn't give her closing remark real quick.
Oh, yeah, please. Where's Kidada? Girl, I'm glad you said that. I would have been so hurt. You know what? I'd be backstage crying if I did that. You know what? That is tremendous leadership.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
Thank you. Real quick, I know you were trying to wrap up the show. No, thank you, Kim, for having me here. I'm just proud and honored to be a blessing and a vessel for the book. And I appreciate you guys having me on the show.
Thank you. And give us a closing comment too, because I want it to be one from you, because you talked about that fear. We got to get a closing comment about fear. Tell us.
Just know that, with faith and with God, you can conquer, and just be courageous and just be willing to step out on faith.
Thank you. Did I forget anybody else? I don't want to forget anybody because y'all are unforgettable. So it's not, trust me, it definitely is not that I'm intending to do that. Okay. Anybody else that I missed? All right. Come on, Doretha, close us out.
Just so grateful for your spirit and for your obedience, Kim, that allowed us to be a part of this wonderful show. Grateful to all of the ladies that journeyed with me with this anthology. And I just pray that everyone who is listening actually got some gems, and that they would support each and every individual that is involved in this project by going to womangym.com, clicking their image, and showing your support by purchasing a book or booking them for speaking engagement.
Oh, yeah, I love y'all. I love y'all on the panel. I love you in the studio audience. Love you, Mackenzie, backstage. Thank you for showing
Thanks,
up.
Mackenzie.
Yes, you did that, girl. You did that. All right, everybody. Love you all. See you to Monday through Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go get your book, Womangym.com.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show, and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern